Welcome to my new audio series, Jumpstart Daily, where I give daily tips on how to jumpstart your business, your ideas, and more. Now, all of this is going to be based off of the How to Jumpstart Your Business to Success workbook, which was written by myself as well as Bria V. Smith. Each episode is going to be fun, hopefully, but most importantly, it's going to be jam-packed with information that you can use in your daily walking business. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Jumpstart Daily. I'm your host, Al Smith, and on this episode 11, the topic is the differences between an employee and an employer. I say that again, the differences between an employee and an employer. So basically, I was having a conversation with someone just a couple of days ago, and the conversation with something like this, right? It was like, well, there's really no difference between an employee and an employer, or if you're self-employed or if you're working for a job. It's really no difference. And so I had to kind of like break it down to the person. I was like, no, there are some differences that you really have to consider being an employee or someone that's self-employed. And you really have to take everything into consideration. And so it's funny that I had the conversation and just kind of like how life works, because like I actually was gonna touch on this topic a couple of months ago in a video, but for whatever reason I never really got to the video, and like things just wasn't working out that day, and all types of stuff. So basically what I did was I just kind of like pushed it to the side and didn't even worry about it. But just having this conversation, it made me think back about the video that I was trying to make and post. And so basically I said, well, since I had this conversation and since I was already going to touch bases on this exact topic, let me go ahead and put it in the Jumpstart Daily as an episode and just give it to whoever, that may come along and listen to this episode. And so basically I want to break down the main differences between employees and employers. And it goes like this: it's money, it's freedom, it's opportunity, it's responsibility. So and I just give you an example, right? When I was an employee for a lawn care company, I would go out, I would do the job, and I would bring the truck back to the shop after I'm finished with my job for the day. I would go home and I wouldn't think anything else about my lawn care company. But this is the thing, right? Before I even got out and I did a job, I was being paid because I had to clock in. And so as soon as I hopped in the truck, or before I even hopped in the truck, as soon as I clocked in, I'm automatically being paid. Now, everything was already set up for me. I didn't have to worry about trying to put no gas in the truck. I didn't have to worry about, loading my trailer because it was already loaded. I didn't have to worry about checking the equipment because the equipment was already checked. I didn't have to worry about any of the responsibilities as an employee. But once I became an employer of my own lawn care company, all of those roles change, they shift. And so basically the things that I didn't have to do, I had to do. So before I hopped in the truck, I had to make sure that everything was looking good. I had to do a full inspection on my truck, and I had to do this every morning. I had to make sure that my tires were good. I had to look at my brake lights and check those and make sure that they were working properly. I had to load up my trailer. I had to inspect it and inspect all the lawn equipment that was on my trailer. Like, it was so many different things I had to do. As a matter of fact, I had to go to the gas station and I had to put the gas in my vehicle as well as my lawn equipment. There were so many things I had to do. And I had to do all of these things before I even touched a lawn account. And I did all of these things before I even started getting paid. See, the major difference was as soon as I clocked in, I was getting paid. But once I became my own boss, I didn't get paid until I did a yard. And so that was the main difference. And so I want to just go ahead and break down the whole money, freedom, opportunity, and responsibility. So I just broke down the responsibility. So let's talk about the money. The major difference between the money of an employee and an employer is, for the employee, you have a cap. and you have a cap on how much the employer is going to give you. With the employer or the business owner, you don't have a cap. The only cap that you have is the one that's in your mind, because you can create however much you want to create based on however much work you're trying to put in or you're willing to put in. The second one is freedom. And basically, as an employee, you only have as much freedom as the job is going to allow you to have. As an employer, I have as much freedom as I want to have. And so all of this is based on the metrics of work when it comes down to an employee and an employer. But it's the ability to be able to do whatever you want to do when it comes down to the employer and doing whatever you are allowed to do as an employee. So that's one of those are the main differences between freedom and then the opportunity. The opportunity for an employee is what is given by the employer, and the opportunity for the employer is what is given by what they put in. And so if as an as an entrepreneur too, but as an employee, you only can go as far as I want you to go. If I don't want you to go as far as being a manager, then I don't care how much work you put in. As long as you're on my job, as long as you are an employee for my company, the only thing that I'm going to allow you to do is be a manager. And so the difference between that is, and with an employee and an employer, is I can be whatever I want to be. I'm already the master of my opportunities. I'm already the master of, my foundation. And so I can take this thing as far as I want to take it. If I want to go out in partnership with someone, I can do it. If I want to bring on as many as 100 employees, I can do it. But you can't do that. And so the responsibility, like I said, was the example that I just gave when I was saying about, me working for the lawn care company. Everything rests on your back. There's no room for you to slack when it comes down to the responsibility, because if you do, then you risk losing everything that you've built. But if you keep the mindset that you can be an employee while being an employer, then what's going to happen is you will eventually become an employee again, because you have to change your mindset. And if you don't change your mindset, you're gonna be doing the same thing as an employee. As an employer that you were as an employee. And so it's just a bad recipe for it. Well, it's a good recipe for disaster, as they say, or it's a recipe for disaster, as they say. And so basically, if you're gonna try to become, your own boss or whatever, make sure that you change your mindset. And to be honest, that's why I'm dropping all of these daily episodes of Jumpstart Daily, so I can kind of like help you get into the mindset of really transitioning your mind from being an employee to being an employer, or not even an employer, because like it's gonna take time if you're starting out your business, but from being an employee to being your own boss. That's why I'm kind of like trying to put this content out here. And so listen, my name is Al Smith. This has been another episode of Jumpstart Daily. I hope that it helps. And listen, be sure to like, comment, and share this post. Subscribe to us on YouTube at the Think New Podcast. That's THINKNUE Podcast. And connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm Al_Think New on Twitter and Think New Al on LinkedIn. And be on the lookout for another Jumpstart Daily dropping tomorrow.